There's no slowing down road construction this time of year, and the next project begins next week. There's concern tonight not only for motorists, but now emergency responders.
As Valley News Team's Joshua Peguero explains, some firefighters had trouble getting to the flames on time.
Thursday's barn fire in West Fargo was fast moving, but the response from some rural fire departments, not so much.
It did add a degree of difficulty. Having the out-of-town companies come in was probably a little bit larger of a degree.
That degree of difficulty was turned up by nearby fire crews, which had a hard time navigating through the road closures and detours.
The Mapleton truck that came all the way from Mapleton, they had to come down I-94 to Cheyenne. It's not their city. They don't know where they're going to on a good day. And then you add the construction, it can get a little confusing.
The neighboring firefighters were needed with this fire because the location was in Barnes Township, adjacent to West Fargo, that left responders with no fire hydrants and limited water. Chief Fuller says his crew would radio directions to incoming crews so they wouldn't get lost.
It did add a little workaround. We looked at the times, and our first engine was there in 6 minutes.
Behind me is a sign alerting residents in Deer Creek that this road will be closed next week. This is just one of 2 closures happening around this area, which will make it difficult for emergency responders making it out to calls. Along with the road closure in Deer Creek, County Road 17 and 76th Avenue in Horace will be shut down.
There's more concern about that.
Chief Fuller adds that the road construction has forced several area fire agencies to get creative.
So what we've done preemptively on our end is we've partnered with the Fargo Fire Department to do an automatic aid agreement.
He says he hopes this will give the community peace of mind if an emergency should arise. In West Fargo, Joshua Peguero, Valley News Live.
The cause of last night's fire was electrical. It was ruled accidental. Because of the lack of hydrants, nearly 14,000 gallons of water was transported to the scene. On a positive note, there was heavy machinery inside that barn. We're told by fire officials none of it was damaged.
Most residents from this afternoon's South Fargo apartment building fire are back home tonight, but others have had to temporarily relocate because of damage to theirs. The fire in the 4800 block of 28th Avenue South initially forced tenants to evacuate. Crews found smoke billowing from a third-floor apartment. By the time they got there, a sprinkler system had already put out most of the fire. It was limited to 1 unit, but there is water damage to apartments below it. Still no word on the cause.
From St. Paul, the Minnesota House passed a bill today that would license assisted living facilities across the state. Minnesota currently is the only state in the country that does not. But the Senate's version of senior care reforms was still not scheduled for a vote, which concerns advocates who have spent 2 years fighting for reform. Groups like AARP and Elder Voice Family Advocates and families of seniors rallied outside the House chamber in support of new legislation. Republicans and Democrats both say reforming elderly care is a priority, and yet the 2 parties and Governor Dayton failed to agree on reforms last year.
North Dakota Attorney General Wayne Stenghjem says the state will sue Washington state over a bill that could threaten the state's oil industry. Washington's governor signed a bill to require companies to reduce the vapor pressure of oil from the Bakken. Stenghjem says there are multiple legal grounds to sue.
It's not backed by the law. It operates to the deficit of the state of North Dakota and also the state of Washington itself, because it doesn't make any sense.
Stenghjem says the lawsuit should be finalized in the next couple of weeks.
An upcoming court appearance for the man accused of killing 4 people in Mandan has been delayed. Chad Isaak won't be attending his preliminary hearing until August 12th. This will allow more time to review evidence. Isaak is charged with murdering the co-owner of RJR Management and 3 employees. Police say they were shot and stabbed. Isaak is a Washburn chiropractor who lived on property managed by RJR. Police still have not identified a motive. If he's found guilty, Isaak faces up to life in prison.
A Moorhead man charged with sexual assault has been put on administrative leave from North Dakota State University. 44-year-old Viet Doan was charged Wednesday with 2 counts of sexual assault in Burleigh County. He's accused of touching a minor in November while in Bismarck. He is the Director of Enrollment Management Administrative Systems for the university and has been with NDSU since 2015.
It's Friday, so it's time to take a look at this week's Valley's Most Wanted. Police say 30-year-old Diana Lopez is wanted for robbery and probation violation on an aggravated assault charge. Call local law enforcement if you have any information on her whereabouts.
This has been a day of emotions for a lot of people involved in the moving of several large houses. First, you have the movers themselves who had to be patient as the building slowly left the South Fargo neighborhood near Centennial Elementary and proceeded on a careful and calculated journey toward the Horace area. And how about the motorists, some of which were amazed, others were frustrated as they were stopped and rerouted while the houses commandeered certain streets and avenues. But think about the person who bought one of the homes and watched as the mammoth-sized building rolled into its new location after several miles of delicate travel.
I have never ever witnessed a house moving. It has been funny. Lots of Snapchats have been sent to me today. Hey, is this your house? So it's been kind of interesting.
All of the homes that were moved today were originally bought by the city of Fargo to make room for additional flood protection in that part of Fargo.
An 8-year-old girl from Moorhead's missing something that was taken from the front yard during cleanup week. Her grandfather, Dan Hoteri, says his granddaughter and a friend were out on the curb in front of his house giving out lemonade and popcorn. The girls decided to take a break and were gone only a few minutes. And when they returned, the popcorn machine that they were making popcorn with was gone.
Went to the backyard and I asked the girls, just in case, did you take the popcorn machine into the backyard? Yeah. And they said no, and their eyes got a little big, and I said, well, it's gone.
Hoteri says it could have been a mistake, but he doesn't think so, since it seemed obvious that the machine was being used. There was popcorn inside of it, and it was plugged into an extension cord. He says it serves as a warning to other people to keep anything important away from the curb, especially during next year's cleanup week.
Minnesota's DNR expects great conditions for tomorrow's fishing opener. The fishing opener marks the day fishing can begin for walleye, northern pike, and trout in Minnesota lakes. The Minnesota DNR is doing what it can to make sure all anglers are prepared for this Saturday, saying it's positive that there are higher water levels across the area.
What will happen is those fish move in from the colder water, the deeper, colder water. They move into the shallows in the spring because that water's warmer.
The DNR says anglers are hoping for warmer weather this weekend, with all signs pointing toward a good opener.
Valley News Live 10 at 10 continues with No Wait Weather.
And here's a live look outside the Valley News Live Storm Team Skycam network shot in Fargo as we started to clear out as we make our way through this late evening into the early overnight. But with a southerly wind, temperatures tonight will be a lot warmer than they have been the past couple of nights when we were seeing temperatures already falling from the 40s into the 30s. We are right now at 55 in Fargo, lower 50s out toward Jamestown and Valley City, and some mid to upper 40s into Lakes Country, northwestern Minnesota. Temperatures near the 50-degree mark into the Northern Valley and the Devil's Lake Basin into the mid-50s right now. And the wind is still from the south around 15 to 20 miles per hour, but that is keeping us warm this evening, even though we have cleared out. Now, most of us are seeing mostly clear skies, but we're still seeing some areas of some light shower activity or some drizzle between Roseau and Baudette and down toward the Bemidji area. Most of us are staying dry, though. The showers that have been into Towner County out toward the Langdon area have dissipated. It's going to be a mainly dry overnight period. High pressure in charge of our forecast. It's off to our south and to our east. It's working its way away from us. That's giving us a stronger southerly flow, and that's going to keep temperatures up tonight, even though we do have clear skies. Now we're tracking this low pressure system. It will make its way over us during the day tomorrow and give us periods of light rain and slightly cooler air as that cold front comes through into the day on Sunday. So here's the hour-by-hour forecast with mainly clear skies now, but we will see more clouds work their way in during the overnight and the Saturday morning time frame. And then we're going to spend most of the morning hours dry, but periods of light rain will develop into the early afternoon and last through the rest of the afternoon into the evening before tapering off into the overnight on Sunday. Temperatures around the region for the day tomorrow reaching their highs into the early afternoon into the lower 60s before falling back through the 50s. There's your cloudy skies, periods of light rain, and a breezy southerly wind continues into the Fargo area. Elsewhere across the region, highs range from the mid-50s to lower 60s depending on where you are, as we will see mainly cloudy skies and again on and off rain showers through the afternoon as we keep that breezy southerly wind. And then for the day on Sunday, it will be mainly dry. Some of these models are giving us a very slight chance of a shower, but but most of us will see partly cloudy to mostly sunny skies for Mother's Day. But temperatures, we're going to say a couple of degrees warmer than Saturday, and that puts us into the low to mid 60s for Mother's Day across the region. Here's your photo of the day. It's called Pretty as a Picture in South Fargo. Thank you, Nancy, for this one. We'll use it in the background of the 7-day forecast. There's your rain on Saturday, a high of 63, and mainly dry, partly cloudy skies on Sunday, 65. Now for Monday and Tuesday, partly cloudy skies with a chance of some rain showers both days into the lower 70s, and then a little cooler, upper 60s Wednesday, mostly sunny, another shower chance on Thursday, high of 70, and a little cool for this time of year for next Friday, high of 64 with partly cloudy skies.
He hasn't changed the 70s yet in the forecast.
I see some lawn work in my future because of that.
Yeah.
Which would be good.
We'll see if we can get you some dry days where you can actually not get rained on.
And some 80s. There we go.
80s are on their way. It won't be much longer.
Thanks, Justin.
Later on Valley News Live 10 at 10, one of those never-ending arguments. The latest point being made about vaping. That's next.